Welcome to the Featured Anime Podcast. I am Taro Noodle Yamada.
And I am Barry Beard McWhisker.
Also known as Jack and Rick. And today we are talking about Ningen Fushin. But before that, if you want to hear about Taro Noodle Yamada's backstory or Barry Beard McWhisker, just feel free to join us on our Patreon or when we go live stream. If you want to help subscribe to us, help us grow, and hear that wonderful backstory for both of us, you go to patreon.com/featured anime podcast. $1 a month to get you access to that beautiful, sweet backstory content, especially since it's so magnificent. I'll tell you that right now. And if you want to get yourself some nice, tasty, delicious, amazing treats, you can use our affiliate link for Tokyo Treats. And coupon code Featured Anime will get you $5 off that very first box. And trust me, those treats are worth it. If you want to buy yourself some swanky swag and look good at the exact same time, go out there into the world and show everyone the pride of being a weeb just like us. You can go to shop.featuredanimepodcast.com, buy yourself some swanky swag, and of course, all our contact information and everything like that is available on our website at featuredanimepodcast.com. And now, onto the meat and brotatoes. Ningen Fushin came out in January 2023, ran all the way through March 2023. Producers for it are Frontier Works, Pony Canyon, Studio Masu, just to name a couple of them. The studio for it is Geek Toys. The source is light novel. The genres are action, adventure, fantasy, boring, and stupid. Also, I hope Geek Toys is the only thing that we kind of talk about on here in regards to Geek Toys, because I am afraid to kind of venture out into the other kind of toys that they deal with. What about you, Barry Beard McWhisker?
Well, it's kind of hard to back that up. I'm not going to lie. What other kind of toys are you referring to, sir?
I don't know, man. We had a very, very, very lengthy discussion at the beginning. And I'm telling you right now, man, my mind is going on tangents.
I believe you. I believe you. Dear Lord. If you're ever interested in backstories, you can either listen to the pre-show or watch this anime. And I am sure you will be satisfied with the amount of backstory you'll get.
That is very true. One of the things I really disliked about this anime, I found it really annoying, really, really aggravating, honestly. Every episode almost had a backstory for everyone. You started off with the backstory. You almost ended with a backstory. In fact, the entire episode, the entire season was a backstory. It was a backstory with backstories in it.
And not all of them made sense.
No, they didn't. But you know what? When you have a tragic backstory like that for every single character, you can't help but share them.
I don't know. You can definitely help. You can definitely not share them and be perfectly happy.
So
there were so many that you go ahead. I'll let you, because
I was going to say, so it's like some of them, you didn't have just one backstory, right? Our main character, Nick, right? You started off with a sad backstory, led into the current backstory, and then it went back again to tell you more about his bad, tragic backstory. So he had
to redirect.
He had a double header of backstory. And the other thing is
triple header at least.
Oh yeah. And then you had people that would like go and revisit these backstories. And then at the exact same time, they would go back and revisit or recount their bad backstories. So you got a recap of the backstory at the exact same time.
From a different perspective, which gives you a whole new appreciation for just how tragic it really is.
Yes.
And how brave our main characters are for overcoming adversity and not trusting a single soul except everyone that comes in their path.
They don't trust each other. They just don't interfere with their lives, and they are united and bonded by their distrust of each other. So they trust each other because of their distrust, because they have to distrust each other. And
they distrust the world.
Right.
So they distrust each other. To the point where they almost trust each other. To the point where the sort of bonds seems to be bonding to them the best way possible. And yeah, right? That's perfect. That makes perfect sense, doesn't it?
Sure, why not? Yeah. Okay, I'm good. I got nothing, man. It's all good, man.
No, so did you watch the sub or the dub?
I kind of commingled in between both of them.
Okay, so I started the series with the sub. I made it to episode 10, and then I went back to episode 6 and watched the dub. Mainly because I didn't want to get lost, and I wanted to watch the dub, but I also didn't want to get annoyed with the voices at the very end. Do you know what I mean? So in the sub, it's stated that the sort of bonds can't bond with somebody or cannot fuse somebody with without a trust being there, without a dependency, without a bond of some kind, like a life altering you're my friend bond kind of thing. So since they're like, we don't trust anybody, most importantly our own crew, made no sense to me. And then when you meet another inexplicable either character, person, whatever, they go on to say that, oh yeah, their distrust makes their bond the strongest. And as you're young, you have a skepticism about you that you'll lose when you get older. I'm like, hold on, that's reverse. That's 100% backwards. I trusted everybody as a kid. As an adult, I got 3 people. 3. Sometimes 4, but sometimes, family's not on that list.
Is there a reason why you have to be so angry and negative and full of spite and just in general, just be so hostile?
Backstory. It's my backstory.
Look. We already went over it. Look, Barry, Beard, McWhisker. We went over your backstory. All right. We all.
I know. It's full of trauma. We're trauma bonding. Like,
no, we're not. We're not.
Oh God! And the frustrating part for me was, no. I'll bring this up a little bit later. Yeah. What is your opinion on the first few episodes? Trash Bandicoot. Okay.
Trash Bandicoot. Yeah. Totally. No, honestly, first few episodes, like, okay. 100% honesty, right? When I saw episode 1,
yep,
I was like, man, this is going to be a show full of backstories. And
yeah.
I hate to say it, but it was a show full of backstories.
Yeah, that was the show essentially. But yeah, no, I watched the very first episode and I looked at it and I'm like, I'm gonna get at least 3 more, because on the opening credits we got 4 people there, and we just saw 1 backstory. Very sad. Okay, cool. I'm not looking forward, but we're gonna get through at least 3 more. And I was right. It was at least 3 more. I didn't realize how least the 3 was going to be. And it just annoyed me that everybody had to have some kind of understanding of their enemy. You did this because of this. I understand you. I get you. Your dream will live on through me. No. I understand why you had to kidnap children and be this super bad person. I get it. I am the only one who can get it. But you're still going to jail, and I'm still going to be a good person. What? No. That's not how this works.
Yeah, that's exactly how it works. Look, I mean, if there's anything in here, it's about the journey of redemption and saving yourself and being one with the fact that you're a creep. You're a loser. No one wants you. No one wants anything to do with you. In fact,
it sounded like a song for a second.
In fact, I'm a creep. I'm a lover. No, not quite.
No, I'm a loser. Yeah.
No, it's here's kind of one of my other problems, right? In regards to the constant backstories, it's a constant backstory, and then they recover so quickly from some of those backstories. Yeah. It's like, oh, I tripped and fell. I stubbed my toe. Oh, my backstory. One of them has a sad backstory, and it's not even a sad backstory. It's like, oh,
yeah,
like, really, that's your backstory? Like the one that was left for dead, that was messed up. The other one where you know, like Nick's second backstory, yeah, that's kind of messed up. However, at the exact same time, I have a question, right?
Okay, what's your question?
My question is, all right, now when I was watching the dub or sub rather, okay, there was a point where when he was a kid, he's supposed to be going to his uncle Argus's house or whatever it is.
Yes.
Right. Didn't it sound like Argus was killing his parents? And then
that's exactly what it sounded like.
Yeah. And then he's like, oh, I feel bad. So I'm going to kill the guy that I was going to have kill you because I see that you're a kid and I'm not going to actually kill you. Instead, I'm going to take you and raise you. And he totally just like bypasses that whole situation. The kid's like, Nick's like, whatever. I don't really care that you killed my parents.
Well, see, in his mind, so because the child was so young at the time, manipulation was key. I assumed that his uncle, yes, killed his parents for the money and then killed the big dude because he was like, oh, a very young and malleable child that I'm able to mold in the fashion that I desire. So, yeah, let's do that. And he kills a guy who's obviously a drain on his company and decides to raise his own lackey, who ends up being a disappointment, and he abandons for some reason. Maybe he's had a change of heart in the last, 10, 15 years?
Yes.
So instead of just being like a killer / bandit / whatever they're at, he's just like, I take all the slashes out and you remove killer, and that's it. I'm good to go everywhere else. And especially if he was able to kill someone so close to his family. Come on now.
I don't know, man. I don't know. Like the backstories, honestly, in this didn't make sense, right? And the whole situation just really makes even less sense. Like, yes, I get what you're saying. He's an impressionable. He's easily manipulated and all the other stuff. But at the exact same time, he's remembering what's going on. And he's a part of a very famous adventuring group, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So
Masters of War, right?
Yeah, Masters of War. So if he's part of a very famous adventuring group, right? It shouldn't matter if they're a part of an adventuring group. I mean, murder is murder, and you would think that at some point that they would be tracked down because
maybe not.
I'm just assuming here. I mean, like I'm pretty sure they can't murder all the witnesses since it was down a very from the looks of it, a busy street. Yeah, it was at night. I get it, but I mean.
You kill one of your guys, and all of a sudden now you got an alibi. Oh, he was there. I came to save them, kind of thing.
Yeah. I don't know.
I think if he wasn't so young, he would have been killed. He'd have been a casualty of the ride.
I guess. I don't know. Oh, the other thing is, and CJ pointed this out a while ago in our chat, is they don't interfere with each other's hobbies.
Oh, yeah.
However, rule number one, you don't interfere with others' hobbies. Now, what I found kind of interesting is they all make money. They all put money in the pool together, right? And one of them has the hobby of food.
Yeah.
Okay, Curran. And she's a dragon person. And so her hobby is food, and the money that they're putting in there together is for food. So her hobby draws on the largest pot possible, because they said the reason why we only have a small amount of money is because we're overdoing our food, our budgeting for food, right? The amount of money that's there is so small. We only have like 5 nickels or whatever it is because we're out doing our food budget. And her response was, rule number 1, you don't interfere with other people's hobbies. So in other words, her hobby draws on the biggest pile of money because it's food and it's a hobby. So she's like,
Hey, it works. Double dipping,
Double dipping. Right? She's got true IQ, 10,000 IQ. It's got big brains, brains.
The only reason that she ended up even going this route is because she felt depressed that somebody stole something from her that we never hear about in any serious matter. Again, after the initial
Oh no, we're told about it towards the end again, right? They recount it, the whole experience, and she talks about how distraught and sad she is. She's like, I'm so distraught and sad over this.
Yeah, no. I mean, I get what you're saying, and yes, she was distraught. She was all of these things, but like the adventure she's going after is not a small time adventure. It's known where they're at, and she has in her party the ability to go get them. And we've already seen that their party is willing to go on specifically focused party missions. All you got to do is submit it, and she's got plenty of money to do so. She hasn't spent it all on food completely, but yeah, like they've been doing really, really well. She could have been like 100,000 whatever currency that is, and we'll go find this guy and recover my dragon emerald or whatever it's supposed to be, this immensely powerful jewel that signifies dragon kind, and
it's blah blah blah, blah 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 blah,
yeah,
blah 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 blah. Yeah. No, basically what it was is, here's my sad backstory. Let's move on with my life because it really isn't that important to me. If it was really that important to her, she would have left town in search of them. Instead, she stayed where she was, depressed and sad, and said, my salvation is following this guy around, eating the same foods that he likes, and calling him my master and saying, thank you for teaching me the ways of the food, and blah, 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 blah. When he didn't. He just walked around and she stalked him. She straight up stalked the guy. Oh,
yeah, in a horrible way. And he starts saying, like, oh, I'm going to need to get a new coat because this one's starting to smell. And she goes, oh, yeah, me too. And when she goes into restaurants, she goes, I hear this is really good, so I'm going to try this today. And she goes, oh, yeah, I'll do the same thing. And the hole in her heart that this guy left is being slowly filled by teamwork and camaraderie.
No, it's being filled with food.
That's fair. That, yeah. And good food, too, from what I can tell. Expensive food, from what I can tell.
I mean, like, if you're eating an entire budget for 4 people, yeah, I would assume so. It's expensive.
Well, yeah, quality over quantity, you know.
Or quantity and quality.
Hey, if you got the money for it, yeah.
I would love the money for
it. Oh, man.
Yeah. And to kind of state what CJ's saying in our chat is, yeah, he does say it loudly because he knows she's following him. That is 100% it. And he is making her basically support all these places that he really likes to go to eat to make sure that they stay in business. It's not even a support. He's like, I want to make sure these places stay in business. And she's gullible. So I'm going to make sure that she always hits us. That's what's actually going on.
Spend your coin here. I'll take 2%.
Exactly. You know what? That's exactly it, right? He's going to the place. He's like, hey, what do you want to sell right now? Oh, I want to sell this right now. All right. You give this to me. Not only will she buy it, she'll come back and repeat buy it forever. I want 2% of her sales. So done. Sold. And sold. All right. He's like, you know, I mean, like she comes up, she's like, oh my goodness, Taro Noodle Yamada, thank you so much. I mean, no, wait, sorry.
Yeah,
no, it's fifths. Says fifths. Fifths. FIFS. Fifths.
What's FIFS stand for? Because I remember Fifths. Solo Eater. Yes, but what's it stand for?
His name is Fifths.
Oh, I thought he was the Solo Eater because he would go to dungeons by himself.
Yeah, that's what he's called. That's what he's called, but his name is Fifths. Yeah, he's Fifths, the Solo Eater.
I thought Fifths was his title, and okay, that makes sense.
Fifths is his name.
Actually, I thought Fifths was his guild.
No, he's a solo. He goes into dungeons and labyrinths alone. That's why he's called Solo Eater. His name is Fifths, and he's an S-rank adventurer who loves food.
Jeez, he's an S-rank already.
What do you mean already?
I thought when we met him, he was like A rank or something like that.
No,
he was even a B.
No, he was an S rank. I mean, like they even recounted that whole experience before they went and fought the priest.
Okay, but at the same time, if you think about it, Didn't they claim that the Dragon Lady was an S rank adventurer as well during her attack?
What?
In her backstory.
Run that back.
Backstory. Sorry, in her backstory, she was the guy who stole from her said that she was an S rank adventurer because of her attack. It was as strong as an S rank adventurer.
Yeah, I don't know. She wasn't.
So you think that was just like
blind luck?
You think
blind
that
luck.
was kind of like rate? No, not blind luck. You think that was like boosting her self-esteem to make her more gullible?
Oh yeah, 100%. Has to be.
Okay, so she's really not an S rank adventurer.
No.
I mean, it's mainly about backstory. It's as a first season to a multitude of other seasons. It's objectively bad.
It's a backstory for backstories. It's a backstory for backstories with backstories is what it is.
I mean, every little blade of grass needs a depressing backstory at that.
True. But here's the biggest question, right? CJ, when he made the recommendation to us to watch this, had stated, it's as bad as Glasslip?
No.
I would objectively say that it is not quite as bad as Glasslip. It's close.
Because at least you can follow it here.
True.
There's a path you can follow here.
That is 100% true. However, Glasslip the movie, Winter is coming soon to a theater near you, will not be happening. Thank God for small favors.
I was gonna say, you were being serious? That was the name of the time.
No, I was being sarcastic.
I was like, dear God.
Because I mean, like, Winter was actually coming inside the anime and everything. I mean, like, they had a whole thing, it's like it was whatever. So there you go. You got
no idea. I was about to cry. I'm like, you won't even give me No Game No Life, but this shit gets something.
Yeah, of course, obviously, duh. Why wouldn't you? Why wouldn't you give it? Right? Why wouldn't you love it?
Simple reason, because it's bad.
Yeah, I don't know, man.
No viable story to follow. Not.
This was objectively one of the, it was bad.
Good.
It was bad. It wasn't great. It was bad. Was it as bad as Glasslip? No, but it's still pretty bad. Would I watch it again? No, I would not.
No, not even as a research project. No,
not even.
I would cliff note this and be proud of it.
Yeah. Well, I mean, like, honestly, I got to say, thank you for actually not doing that. I mean, for suffering through it like I did. I very much appreciate it. Very much appreciate it.
Well, I aim to please at times. But so one of the, speaking of disappointments, so there is a ancient sword called the Sword of Bonds or something like that.
Yes.
And in the search of it, basically it's this ancient weapon that was lost to the time or something like that. And a millennia ago, it was put in storage for just the right set of adventurers to come find and use. And it's an angel. It's some sort of extravagant title to go along with how powerful this thing could be eventually, probably, maybe. And you come to find out its primary feature is union, which is the combination of two characters into one, similar to Yu-Gi-Oh, where you fuse.
Right.
Now, what did you think of their fusions? Just curious.
They were interesting, but that's not the thing that you should be focusing on, right? Regardless of the fusions, regardless of all that other stuff, this is advanced technology. And the one thing I will give credit to for this anime is when they touch on the advanced technologies and everything like that. It's not that they're advanced technologies, they're very old technologies. And they specifically state it's humanity as a whole that has regressed. And that's one of the things I actually really liked about this. It was they actually touched on like, oh, all this advanced technology and everything like they're like, yo, we don't know what happened, but everyone just regressed back to the dark ages basically for this.
Now there was a sort of evolution that forced evolution, right?
It wasn't sort of evolution. They called it something else. Yeah, it's something else. They had a couple of different swords, and you know that there's going to be more swords going forward as well. I mean, like Even at the
There has to be.
end, you had like another sword, what looked like another sword, and he obviously knew what the sword was. And you know that there's going to be a lot more swords out there going on at the exact same time. So
Well, let me say this then. The reason why I brought this up, specifically the union, is I wanted your opinion on each of the unions. You had the union with the dragon lady, you had the union with the gambler, you had the union with the healer. Now, maybe not a healer. Maybe that's not the right way to put it. It was a caster of some kind.
He's a
But then
cleric.
again, so
Clerics are typically healers. Yep.
So when he fused with the dragon lady, they had some pretty kick-ass fire attacks.
Right.
When he fused with the ice gambler lady, he had some pretty kick-ass attacks, super strong. When he fused with the healer, I was expecting superior buff magic, superior healing magic, like Phoenix Down style healing, right? And you just had a minorly better, and when I say minorly, I mean like a minuscule amount of power boost when he went with the healer. And there wasn't really any.
So each one plays to the strengths of the individual or will enhance a particular aspect of it, right? It's not that you expected to like killer healing magic, right?
Oh, no, I fully did.
Okay. Well, what purpose would it be? I mean, like, what's he going to do? Heal the bad guy?
No, you could buff everybody to be godlike.
Everyone's like already taken out. Ain't got no time for healing.
But buffing you got.
They're already taken out. Like, what is buffing them? Buff them so they can bleed faster? I'm going to buff you so you bleed out faster, boy. Yeah. Woo! Way to go, Lack.
Well,
Zach,
I mean...
Zach.
Yeah. The frustrating thing for me would be it didn't rise to even a modicum of what the others were. The others, you're right, they played against the strengths, which was fantastic until they didn't. And when they didn't, you're like, hello, I'm expecting something here. I'm expecting superior magic of some kind, and I got none of it.
Right.
You know?
Okay. So what you're saying is you wanted a holier than thou experience?
You betcha.
For him? Okay.
You betcha. Well, not just holier, but like just more powerful healing magic, like a healing area, if you will. Because you're right, everybody was kind of down and out. But if he could heal them, buff them, and still be like a tank of some kind, which he turned into, but he had this star
okay.
that he kept following him that he used to attack.
Okay, so
The
but
shuriken style.
here's the thought process behind that, though, right? Like, why would you want to waste your time doing that? Okay. Because if you waste your time healing someone who literally gets pinky flicked across the room and they're taken out, what's the point in even buffing them? No amount of buffing will help them. I mean, like even his buffs for his strength didn't help him out that much. They barely made a nick on him. He's like, oh, I will accept defeat today because you're obviously so powerful? Question mark.
Yeah.
Deuces.
I'm guessing he was running out of magic. That's the only thing I can think of.
I mean, like the reporter.
He barely got touched.
The reporter was owning homeboy, and he can't concentrate on two different attacks. And like the reporter could have came in like a wrecking ball and putting the smackdown on him, WWE style.
I don't know. Like I agree, that would have been awesome to see, but at the same time, like, just frustrating. Frustrating to expect something even remotely close and then just be like, well, what's that? That's unfortunate to say the very least.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's much like this anime. A lot of it was very unfortunate to say the least.
True. A lot of it was unnecessary. I feel like we could have probably had the same information dump with a 4-episode thing if they just focused on each individual person.
They did that anyways, multiple times throughout the multiple episodes. He even had full episodes. Well, I mean, like you just said, you could have done it in 4 episodes. It's like they did. They did 4 episodes, backstories for each of them. You're thinking of the backstories for the other side character, the backstory for the other side character, the backstory for the girl that dumped him, the backstory for the other side character. And then you have them recounting the backstories for them as well. It's not that they should have just done like, 4 episodes for the backstories. No, they did the 4 episodes for those backstories. But then they were like, hey, let me tell you about more of these backstories. Let's not even give you a real backstory. Let's not actually show you the backstory. Let's just talk about this backstory. So that way you can understand the backstory without actually experiencing the backstory. So it's not technically a backstory, but it's a backstory. In case you were wondering.
But it is and it isn't.
Yeah.
So like, no, it's just, a good thing about this show was they were able to keep multiple storylines active at the same time. And they were able to keep certain flashbacks active at the same time as the main story is going forward. You have a flashback from another character and you're like, oh, so that's the same incident from a different perspective. Okay. Interesting way to use the anime, but it works. It worked a little bit for them. Not very much.
All they did was slightly recount that portion of it, and that was it. That was all they did. It wasn't even a different perspective. They were like, we're going to reference this, and this is what it is. And that's all they did. They referenced it. They didn't even like go all the way through the whole backstory. They're like, here's my sad backstory. And they recounted it all the way to the very beginning, and they brought it all the way to the very point, and then they went back to the current times. Here's my backstory. And she's like, here's my backstory. Feel sorry for me. And what's even funnier for the idol backstory is like, and I never saw him again, except when I saw him across the street sweeping. Really?
Yeah. Except every day when I had to pass the shop he's working at.
Right?
Yeah. At a very specific time where I know he'll be out front.
Exactly. All right, man. I honestly, I don't have too much more I can say on this. So I feel like this is a great spot for a rating, sir. How about you?
Okay, I agree. I think per CJ's rating scale of the TNA factor, I'm gonna give it. No, I'm kidding.
Wait, there was a TNA in this?
You must have skipped it. It was with the internationally acclaimed time traveling granddaughter.
Oh, right. Between episode 5 and 6.
Yeah, you must have missed it. It was just
it was a very
so
small section.
Yeah, it was like a beach scene. I don't know. It was just yeah. So I would say that this one would probably rate 3. Yeah, 3 feels pretty good. It's neither too strong, neither too weak, and with still a little bit of potentially wiggle room. You know what I mean? Potential wiggle room. So yeah, 3. What you got, sir? What's
2.
your score? 2. Cool. Okay.
2.
How come?
The only reason why it's being kept from a 1 is it did actually have a story you could follow through. It did have something kind of legible for it. And they did give a solid reason, shaky though, not solid, a shaky reason, a palatable reason as to why the swords are advanced technologically wise. Where they got the sword from was advanced technologically wise, but everything else wasn't. That's why. That's the only thing keeping it from a 1.
Maids. They got maids. They come in and they clean everything.
Yeah, I really couldn't care less about that. Could not care less about that. All right.
Man.
Next week, we're going to pull also from this wonderful bag of laundry list of recommendations. And it's going to be a 12 episode. It's recommended by Miku. They said for the reason why we need to watch it. It's beautiful and amazing animations. It's got an interesting concept. It's got cool fights, an interesting world, interesting characters, an amazing opening and ending, and very interesting devil's designs. Oh, that's the other thing that I did. That's also saving Ningen Fushin from a 1 is the ending theme song, the ending song, that whole scene. That's also what's saving it.
Okay, I'll give you that.
So in case you can't tell, next week's choice is Chainsaw Man. And what they want to tell us about Chainsaw Man is a manga adaptation animated by Studio Mappa. It's gory. Watch the first episode, and it shows the gist of the devil's designs and gore in 12 episodes. The main character is kind of a pervert and a simp, and they can't really describe Chainsaw Man in 12 episodes. It's too short for the whole Chainsaw Man series. If you like amazing animation and very cool fights, then you will like this. So
I look forward to this.
Right.
I've seen 2 episodes, and I fully support following through with it.
Right. So, and you were just talking to me about how you needed a palate cleanser from this really great and wonderful anime, from this truly delicious anime. Right. This Diamond in the Rough. Yeah. So we're gonna do a palate cleanser, Chainsaw Man. It may not be as great as Ningen Fushin.
We shall see, though.
We shall see. But it will certainly try. So before I wrap things up, Rick, do you have anything you want to?
I mean, other than just the super sad backstory of Beardy McBeardifying, no, not really. I forget what the guy's name is. You called me. Beardy McBeard? No, that's not right.
Barry Beard McWhisker.
Yep, Barry Beard McWhisker. I got it. Big McWhisker.
All right.
Yeah, no.
All right. So, if you feel like we did too much justice or not enough justice for this particular anime, I'm not sure why you would think that, but anyways, if you feel like we were lacking in some way, we do have a way for you to reach out to us. You can go to our website, featuredanimepodcast.com. All our contact information and everything like that is listed out there for you. You can go there and do that. You can also give us wonderful recommendations and submit all that information on there as well. You can join us, hang out with us and everything like that when we go live on twitch.tv/featuredanimepodcast. We go live every Monday at 10 p.m. Eastern time is when we go live. And if you want to give recommendations and all that, we would be happy to hear those recommendations. If you want to hear the pre-show that we usually do with every episode, you can go to patreon.com/featured anime podcast. $1 a month will get you access to that bonus content. And if you want to help support us through other means, don't forget Tokyo Treat. If you use coupon code featured anime along with our affiliate link in the show notes for you, you will get $5 off that very first box. And trust me, those treats, they're worth it. They're delicious. I love them. I'm sure Rick would love them if he ever got to taste these tasty treats like me.
Have you ever saved any for me?
You know what, man? That's kind of the thing.
Just don't make them my way.
You got like 30 minutes before they get to me to have some. So let's put it like that. All right. Or if you want to buy yourself some swanky swag, you can go to shop.featuredanimepodcast.com and buy yourself some swanky swag. Help support us and everything else. And until next time, I am Taro Yamada Noodle, also known as Jack.
And I'm Rick, because I can't for the life of me remember the other name. Beardy McBearded Whisker.
Barry Beard McWhisker.
Barry
also known
Beard McWhisker, a.k.a. Rick. Oh, God. And we'll see you next time.